We're starting with the C chord. Chances are what that means is that the song you're playing is in the key of C. And all that means is that C is a beginning point. It's just like the start of a race. You have to have a starting point. So C is our starting point, so that's our key. In a lot of songs, they like to use mostly major chords because they're bright and happy sounding. If we look at the key of C and the chords that we looked at before, we had 3 chords that were major chords. We had C, and then skip up here to F, and then G. If you have a song in the key of C, there's a good chance you're going to find those 3 chords in that song somewhere. Then they might decide to add a minor chord in the song just to give them more chords to use. And in the key of C, the minor chord that's used the most is A minor, which is way up here. So you might have a song that does this. And a good example of that might be something like Every Breath You Take by the Police. Every breath you take, every move you make, every vow you break, every claim you stake, I'll be watching you. So there's literally thousands of songs that use those 4 chords in some order. What we're going to learn to do later is use a function on the keyboard that's called Transpose. And it's a button you can push, and you can raise or lower the sound of the keyboard to put it in different keys. And what that's going to allow you to do is, let's say you have a song that's in the key of C sharp, which is kind of unusual, but you might run into that. And you're not quite experienced with those black keys yet. You can use that transpose button and move the keyboard so it sounds a half step higher. When you play a C chord, it's going to come out sounding like a C sharp. So you're not going to really have to change anything about what you're playing except for the buttons on the keyboard. And that's something that we'll get to later on.